So this is the Dream Star Toys Shovelfighter. He is one of their versions of a Masterpiece Constructicons. This is their version of Scrapper. So let's go ahead and take a look at that box real quick. So you can see you've got Shovelfighter right there, and then you have, there he is in his alt mode, you've got that. Flip it over this way. You can do all those things that it says, and then you come over here and you can also do all those things that it says right there. And then you have Shovelfighter on the side. You have nothing, and then you have a nice look at him in his bot mode right there, and you can do all those things as well. So you can see this is the DST02-001. That is their designation for the Dream Star Toys second project, their first project, which I don't have any of them. The first project were the aerial bots. So this is going to be their take on the Constructicons and Devastator, but this is 001. This is the first figure out of the figures that they're going to release for Devastator. So all that being said, let's go ahead and take that plastic off. So I did pick this guy up from showzstore.com. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this plastic. And we're going to take that off. And now that we have that, let's go ahead and open him up. So it doesn't look like there's any tape on this box, so we're just going to pull down with our thumb and open right here. And get a little sneak peek of what's going on there. Then let's go ahead and lay him down, and then we'll pull this on out. All right, box out of the way. And let's go ahead and grab those. So you got instructions. Those are always helpful. And there he is in his plastic. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, this is my first take on Dream Star Toys, so I don't know what to expect. Let's go ahead and open him up, and let's take a look at the weapon first. So you got his weapon. Oh, gold inside the barrel, nice. All right, and then, see, in plastic, yeah, he's in a plastic bag. So the easiest thing might be to just do this, and then stand him up. Nice. All right, big reveal, big reveal. Ooh, he looks nice. I like what they've done with him. Very industrial kind of look here. So definitely not G1. It's somewhat G1 accurate, but a lot of nice industrial touches here. Ooh, you've got all kinds of good stuff on him. We'll have another part where we do all the details, but look at that. Danger, danger, danger. A lot of danger. A lot of danger on those legs. Ooh, what's that? Yeah, nice. Okay, so there he is out of the box. That's going to wrap this video up with one last thing to do, and that is bring in the original G1 Scrapper as comparison, so you can see from a size standpoint what we're working with here. So thanks for watching this part. There will be another part coming soon where we will go into details, accessories, alt mode, all that other good stuff. But thanks for watching. If you haven't already done so, be sure to like, follow, do all the things. You guys know what to do. And thanks. This is going to be part 2 of my review for the Dream Star Toys Shovelfighter. This is a third-party company, and this is their take on a Constructicon Scrapper, who, when we get all these figures, is going to be an absolutely ginormous Devastator, which is really cool. But now that we've established that, let's go ahead and get that box out of the way so we'll eliminate those distractions. And normally, in my reviews for the second part, I will go over the details and the articulation of the figure. This time around, though, I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to do the accessories first. The reason that I'm doing that is because I stumbled upon an issue and I couldn't find anything online to help me, so I had to struggle, and I don't want to be a gatekeeper with knowledge. I want to get that out to you guys. So for those of you who are interested in this figure or who have this figure, let's go ahead and talk about that. So you may notice something a little different. His head, I have his head turned around 180 degrees. Move him in here a little bit just so you can see. His head is still there. I just have it turned around, and you'll notice there's a big gaping hole back here. And the reason we have the big gaping hole is because I pulled this piece out. Now this piece right here is actually something that is not in the instructions. There's not a mention of it on the box, in the instructions, anywhere. It is a little board that has, and my macro is going to turn on and off because I have an iPhone. Apologies for the flipping of the macro turning on and off. But you can see you've got some LEDs on either side right here, and they are activated, and you can see the batteries. They are activated by this, which is his gun. And this gun has a little magnet on the end, and so it's just a magnetic switch, which is a pretty cool setup. However, the instructions mention nothing about that. So I'm looking around on this guy to get ready for the details part of the review, and I notice a little notch on the back of his head. I pull it out, and voila, look at that. But there were no batteries in it. So this does not come with batteries, so we're going to talk about what you need to know. So first and foremost, the type of batteries that it takes are LR521, basically small watch batteries. So they're really tiny, takes 2 of them. This pulls out the back of his head, and then you put a couple of batteries in there, and then you're good to go. The magic happens when you bring the gun or the pistol close to this, and then you can just do that. And my macro will not stop. Oh, it's killing me. There you go. There you go. Okay. So what we will do is put this back in his head, and it just fits like this. Orient it this way. A little push. And then you can see now it's nice and flush. And that little notch right there is what I was talking about. So we can turn his head around. I may turn the light off on my light box so you can see this a little better because it does get diffused through his visor. But if you touch that, and then there you can see his eyes are lit up. And then you touch it again, and they're no longer lit. So there you go. That, I wouldn't really call it an accessory, but it is something that you're going to want to figure out. Next up, just talk about the gun itself. Not a lot to talk about. Good detail, relatively. I like the gold on it. And then you see it's got that little notch right there, so it'll plug right into his hand, and he does hold it quite securely when you do that. So if we bring his hand over, just plug that in right there, even without putting the fingers around it, you can see he holds it really well. So it's not going to go anywhere. And then, you know, just wrap your fingers around however you feel fit. Last thing we'll do for this part is just a quick comparison. We'll do a quick comparison in each part just so you can get an idea of what he's looking like. Now, the first time I brought in my G1 Scrapper. Next up, I'm going to bring in the Fans Toys Gary, which is their take on Scrapper. 2025, by the way, is the year of the Constructicon, especially for third-party companies. I'm going to be absolutely inundated with Constructicons. So there you go. That's how he looks. Obviously very faithful to the G1 rendition over here, and then they're kind of going for a more modern aesthetic. Not gonna lie, I really like the way this guy looks. So that's going to do it for part 2. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already done so, be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. You know what to do. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. This is part 3 of my review for this figure. This is the Dream Star Toys Shovelfighter. This is their take on a Decepticon or a Constructicon Scrapper, who ultimately will make a really big, really cool looking Devastator, or at least their version of it. So this third part, we're going to be talking about the combined mode. So he is a leg. It might not look like it unless you squint and look a little sideways, but this is a leg. You got a foot down here, you got a shin up here, and then eventually that'll be a knee. So the first thing we're going to do, just to give you a sense of scale, is we're going to put a ruler next to him so you can see what we're dealing with here. So he is, if I flip it over the other way, that would be helpful, so we don't have to do math. Nobody wants to do math. He is just under 8 inches tall in this mode. And let's get that ruler out of the way. And now, bring him in. We're going to take a quick look at his details and then go over the articulation. So, very much looks like he does in his alt mode, which I know is really surprising. But yeah, you got a big old toe, foot, front thing right there, and then that's the side profile of the foot. And we'll see all these details when we get him in his alt mode, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. Ooh, and then there he is from the back, kind of what he looks like there. And then you got these sticking out, gives him a little bit of balance for the heel back there, another side profile view. So yeah, don't mind these little guys. These little guys are the safety bars for the humans to operate it, and they're supposed to go in there. They just don't. But we'll worry about that later. All right, so what we will talk about now is just the basic articulation for this figure. So being a leg, you have very little as far as the front and back for the foot. There's actually 0 locking that you can do for that. You've just got some wiggle. You don't have anything if you twist it. You do, however, get some ankle tilt. So you can tilt this direction, and you can tilt. Oh no, I didn't mean to break that loose. You can tilt in that direction. So depending on what kind of position you want to put him in, I'm going to run with the assumption that this knee, there's obviously nothing that moves up here. When we get the next guy, I'll plug him in right there. I'm assuming all the motion is going to happen right up there at that knee above him. So yeah, there you go. I'm just going to put him, give him a little angle like that so you can kind of see what's going on. And now what we'll do is we'll just bring in some comparisons. We're going to wrap this part up because there's just not a lot to talk about in the combined mode. So let's put him off right here. We're going to start with the first, the original, the OG. There you go. That is my G1 Constructicon Scrapper minus his cab, which is somewhere. I just don't know where. But anyway, yeah, so you can see pretty significant size difference there. Not true to the color scheme of G1, unlike the Fans Toys and X-Trans bots. Everybody's kind of in those Constructicon wars right now. They're going for a darker green over here. I dig it. I like it. I think they've made it a little more stylized. I very much enjoy it. I appreciate the G1 loyalty, but if you're going to go stylized, this is a good way to go. All right, and then the last comparison that we're going to have, speaking of X-Trans bots, let's see if we can bring that in. Now, this is kind of deceptive. Let's get this back. This is kind of deceptive because it looks like this is the X-Trans bot's ground bite. He's just huge in comparison to Shovelfighter. Well, not exactly. If I pan this camera a little bit, give you a better view of it all, the ground bite ends right here. This is parts forming. So this is actually the knee. This is the thigh, if you will. So they both end about the same spot in the knee. But yeah, you can see definitely a much more traditional G1 style here. And just to give you another point of comparison, change that angle up a little bit. So yeah, that is Shovelfighter in his combined leg mode, which looks pretty awesome. So what we'll do now is we're going to end this part. Next part, we will cover what Shovelfighter looks like in his vehicle mode, and then part after that, we will get into the finale, if you will, where we're going to see him as absolutely beautiful robot mode. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already done so, do all the things. The like, share, comment, follow, subscribe, whatever they want to call them. I'm doing this stuff because I enjoy it, but hey, if you guys enjoy it too, and it just helps my stuff grow, then it gives me an opportunity to bring stuff more to you, and it gives me some affirmation that you guys are enjoying it. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Let's get right into it. This is part 4 of my review for this guy. This is the Dream Star Toys Shovelfighter, aka their version of a stylized Constructicon Scrapper in a masterpiece scale. So this is him in his alt mode, which is an incredibly beefy, awesome looking construction vehicle. A couple things that I will point out when we get into the details of this that I don't like, but overall I think this guy just looks absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and bring him in and take a look at this guy, starting right up here with that amazing front scoop. Gosh, that thing looks good in real life, on camera, all the way around. This thing looks great. Got a little hair on there. Now I'm going to bring him around to the side. And just a couple of details. If I can make that happen. Let's go. There we go. So you've got stickers that say rescue. You've got little chevrons on the side. Huge wheels. Coming over here, you can see all that amazing detail. You can see those steps. Now here's the thing I don't like. This right here. It's supposed to go right there. It won't stay. It won't. I could probably get a heat gun, but it's just, as you can see, it's a super shallow hole. And this doesn't really stick around because this all folds up when he's in his bot mode. So it's not like this is a permanent attachment. So I guess I'm just going to live with this. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it is kind of a detraction. Coming around here to the back, look at the details where you can see like the engine cover, that kind of stuff. And from the back, see all that good stuff there. You can see his gun right there. So he does have some weapon storage. We're going to get to that in a moment. Coming around to the side, just a nice looking vehicle mode from the top That's how he looks. And from the bottom, that's how he looks right there. And you can see how that gun integrates right there, just plugs right in. If you don't like it, just go ahead and take it on out. Give it a wiggle. And then you can just take it on out and put it off to the side if you don't want it there. And then, of course, you got all your warnings underneath. Doesn't really do a lot of good. This is for his feet, for his arms, that kind of stuff. But if you're already underneath the vehicle, you know there's danger. Other thing that I don't like is these are his toes. So they do come out pretty easily. So it doesn't take much at all. They just flop. So they're held in by a couple of tabs and slots there. And then they've got this tab right here that goes into that slot right there. And they hold, but it doesn't take much. And then once they do that, and then they're flopping around. They get in your way when you're trying to set him down, that kind of stuff. So minor annoyance considering how great he looks for everything else. He does roll very nice. So you get that going. And then as far as articulation goes, the only thing that you've really got here is just that scoop. So bring the scoop up, bring the scoop. It's ratcheted, bring the scoop up. So you can do all kinds of good stuff. Bring the scoop down. So yeah, have a good time. He looks really good and intimidating right there as well. So overall, yeah, I like him. He's highly stylized. I love to take what they have done here, what Dream Star Toys has done for this figure. Looking forward to the rest of them. Oh yeah, he's even got little gold lights right there in the cab. So just looking forward to what they're going to do for the rest of this line of Constructicons to make their version of Devastator. Really looking forward to it. All right, so what we're going to do now is just a couple quick comparisons to wrap this portion of the video up. So let's get down. Got to push this thing out of my way. There we go. Get down, and yeah, that looks good enough. All right, so we're just going to wiggle them right over right there, and just going to throw in a couple of real quick comparisons. It's going to be hard to get both these guys in. We're going to start with the little guy first. This is my G1 Scrapper, so you can see just how tiny he is in comparison to Shovelfighter over here. There's a point of comparison. There you go. He can fit right in the shovel. So let's go to the side. There you go. Teeny tiny little guy, and this guy's nice and bulky. Like it very much. All right, moving him out of the way. Him over here. This is where the challenge is going to get interesting. This next comparison is the X-Transbots Ground Bite. This is their take on Constructicon Scrapper. So you can see what's going on there. Obviously, he is a lot more faithful to that G1 figure. You can see, looks like him, similar color, all that good stuff. He's just a little bit smaller than Shovelfighter, and I do very much appreciate the G1 look, but you can get a point of comparison there, and you can see the Shovelfighter is a little bit larger than Ground Bite from that angle right there. All right, so let's roll him on out of the way, bring him up here so you get a nice view of him just like that. So that's going to wrap up part 4 of this review for Dream Star Toys Shovelfighter. So this is the final part. We're just going to be focusing on the bot himself. We'll take a look at his details, his articulation, and then we'll bring in a couple of comparisons to wrap it up. But let's go ahead and bring him in, take a look at his details. We'll start right there with that scrapper head. And you can see it is definitely stylized, but it's got a good amount of detail on it. I do like it. Tight joints on this guy, I will tell you. So try to turn it a little bit so you can see off to the side right there what he's got going on. So not much on the top. Then that chest looks gorgeous. Those purples and those greens, man, they look good. You can see he's a very dangerous robot. There is danger everywhere on this guy. He even says so. And coming down to those legs. Legs are looking really good. Danger on those legs everywhere as well. Just all the way down, danger all the way down. They did a good job with the legs, hiding things away. Yes, you can still see the wheels. I'm not too concerned about it. I still think it's pretty cool that they've gone ahead and, you know, done their part to try to cover it up. And then those arms, you've got nice chevrons. You've got stuff up here. All that great detail right there on his forearm. You've got high voltage in his forearm. It's not just dangerous. It's going to electrocute you, but you've got danger on the fist. So that is a danger fist. So definitely be aware of that. So bring him back a little bit, and then I'm going to turn him to the side so you can see what that side profile looks like. He's got a backpack. There's no denying it. It's really not bad, especially when you compare it against some of the other Masterpiece Scrapper backpacks that are out there. Hey, it's not bad. I'm not going to complain. Nice big feet, keeps him nice and stable, so no issues there. And the screen and the way it's stylized, it kind of looks like a Spartan uniform from Halo, which just adds to it for me. Just really makes this guy pop. I really do like the way he looks. And there he is from the back. So again, that rear profile, not too bad. You know, it's not as good as the front. It's not supposed to be. I still think it looks pretty good though. One complaint that I do have as far as the overall looks go, this is a similar complaint to what I had in the vehicle mode. You got these. These are supposed to be like the safety bars for the operator. When in the vehicle mode, the operator would climb up these steps. And of course, there's really nowhere for them to pin in when he's in his bot mode. So they just kind of hang loose, and they're not, I don't know, they're not molded the same. I really don't like that my macro keeps jumping. I do apologize for that. But that's really my biggest single complaint on the overall looks. Just a real quick touch point on the overall quality of this guy. This is my first Dream Star Toys figure. I couldn't be more impressed with him. The paint applications look great. The overall feel of this guy, he's nice and heavy and bulky. All the joints are tight. The only thing I can complain about is in his vehicle mode, his toes flop around a little bit. And you can go back and you can watch that part where I go over that in his vehicle mode. But in his bot mode, he's just a big, solid, sturdy, pose him almost any way you want kind of guy. So real quick overview of the articulation. We already talked about the head a little bit, so you get some up and down there. You can get a little bit of side to side, so he can give you that quizzical look. You do run into a lot of interference here with these pieces running into his scooper in the back. Without that, he's got a good range of motion. Now you can move these out of the way if you need to, get up a little bit higher, but as you can see, he's got that range of motion on the shoulder going up. He can go all the way around on ratcheted joints right there. You can move these as you wish. And then you've got bicep swivel right there, and then double jointed elbows, so you can bring those in nice and tight. And then on those hands, put those hands in for a nice close-up. So you can see he has 4 fingers and a thumb right there. These 3 fingers are connected. As far as points of articulation go, you have a joint right there, a joint right there, and a joint right there. So you can, for each of these fingers, give it a nice bend however you want to do it. This is just a 5th finger. It's just as long as the other fingers, which is kind of freaky if you think about it for a little too long. But he has a ball joint right here, which is nice, and then you've got those 3 joints on that thumb as well, and then you can swivel that hand around wherever you want. So moving that out of the way, come down to the waist. Now you do have ab crunch on this guy. It's not the easiest thing to activate because it's kind of hard to figure out where to grab him. But if you grab the guy, you can get that ab crunch activated right there, and then you can see in the back where that joint is for that ab crunch. So he can do a pretty good job of looking down at, you know, a little guy that he's going to crush under his feet right there, you know, so you can do that. And then bring that back up. He has waist rotation, so he can, if you're careful, he can go all the way around. Just watch what you're doing there. And then coming down to the legs, you don't really have to worry about hip skirts too much. You've got this one right here, so you can get that out of the way. And then you can get a kick forward that far and a kick backward way up there. So nice range of motion. Kicking out for the splits, you get that far out. And then as far as the knees go, you've got a nice deep knee bend, but he does run into himself right there. So that's as far as you're going to get. You know, it's good and deep. You're going to get good poses out of him, but it's not much more than 90 degrees, if that at all. Coming down to the feet, you have, there is your default straight, and then you've got that much ankle tilt going on right there. And then if you look up underneath here, you've got this little toe, and you can move that toe, disconnect it, and then, I don't know, whatever you can think to do with that, do it. And then you just plug it back in. But no, you can get this guy in some pretty good poses. Nice center of gravity. So, you know, you can, I don't know, have whatever kind of fun you want to have with him. Definitely really cool. Really cool figure. Like it very much. I've got his gun right here. His gun, I talked about in the accessories, but if we look on this hand right here, you can just see he's got that little tab right there that just plugs in. You can use either hand to hold it. Let's get your ab crunch back out. Maybe. Oh, I think I already took his ab crunch out. Oh, silly me. Alright, so you want to stand crooked? There. Alright, so let's get you posed. There. That looks natural-ish. Alright, so there he is. So now we're down to the last part. Let's go ahead and do those comparisons. So the first comparison that we're going to do is just G1 Scrapper. So you can see just how much bigger he is. Definitely not really following the genealogy here of the color or the style. They're definitely doing their own thing here, but I absolutely love it. He looks great. Alright, let's move him out of the way. Then we will bring in the next third-party masterpiece, Scrapper. This is Fans Toys Gary. And you can see they're almost about the same size. I think Gary is definitely blockier and stockier. But I still feel like in a street fight, Shovelfighter is going to take Gary. It's just something tells me. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. And move Gary out of the way. And then for our final comparison, this is the X-Transbots version of Scrapper. Stay. There you go. All right, so you can see he's definitely a little bit smaller. I gotta tell you though, I think X-Transbots won this battle between X-Transbots and Fans Toys. He's not as G1 accurate as Gary is over here. Hello. But I think he won the battle. But anyway, yeah, so there is Shovelfighter. And then just for fun, let's go ahead and do this. We'll end it that way. Turn toward me. There you go. It's better. So there you go. Those are the three guys. Let's bring Scrapper in just for fun as well. This is getting long. Didn't want it to be that long, but hey, there you go. So that is going to wrap up my review for Shovelfighter. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The next one that's going to be coming out for Dream Star Toys is going to be their version of Hook, so be on the lookout for that. As always, if you haven't already done so, you know, like, subscribe, comment, and do all the things. Share the video. Appreciate everything you guys do. See you in the next one.